Okay, looks like it's giving me some problems here, Christy. I don't know that we are actually live because it's giving me, there we go.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Hello, yep. Hello, everyone from you.
Okay. So if anyone is out there, please make comments so we'll know that we are live and doing our deal. Yes, looks like we're good.
Okay. Yay.
Very good. You know how it is. One day you go in here and all your settings are good, and the next time you go live, the settings are not good.
Yeah, Mercury is in retrograde, so
My daughter says Mercury's in the microwave. So Christy and I are here. We do have a list of questions that we will start with, but please say hello, pop your questions in if you have any. The first question we're going to start with, Christy and I discussed a little bit before we came on, is can you tell if someone is going to die?
I used to be able to know when someone was going to die, but I found unedited things would come out of my mouth that were very inappropriate. So I talked to my guides and I just said, shut that piece down. I don't want to know when someone's going to die. They don't really want to know when they're going to die. And they did. They absolutely shut that down. So now, unless it's because I am a death doula, that when I know someone is in hospice in their final hours, I mean, it's obvious everyone knows they're going to die and I will help them cross over. But on a normal day-to-day thing, no, I've shut that side of it down and I don't know.
Very good. I do, kind of like Christy, I do know, and I haven't shut it down. I just don't, as Christy was talking about, she was saying, some things would come out of her mouth that she didn't want to. And I will not tell you. You can look me in the face and ask me if you're going to die tomorrow or whenever, and I can know that to be true, and I still will not tell you. It's just not information I think that we need. Timelines can shift and change, and we don't ever want to take away someone's hope unless it's like Christy said, someone is really near their deathbed. I know I was working with someone and her husband had very advanced cancer and he was in the end stages, and he was, sometimes the transitioning process is not painful to the spirit, but it can be hard to watch. And her husband was in the end stages of a cancer battle and he was having some seizures, and she's like, we can't take it. We can't take seeing him this way. When is he going to die? When is he going to go? So I was having a conversation with his higher self, and I said in 3 hours, and in 3 hours and 10 minutes, he passed. But that's like Christy was saying, only if you're working in that death doula aspect and you have a relationship with who you're talking on a normal basis. I can know that you're going to step out in front of a car tomorrow and I will not tell you. I want to say hi, Nicole. Hi, Donna. Today, Miss Donna, we are not doing readings in that regard. We're just answering questions. Of course, feel free to make an appointment with Christy or I if you would like to hear from your son. I will be live on TikTok on Thursday, I believe at noon. I haven't publicized that, but it's in my head. I'm probably going to do it. So you can catch me there. I'm so sorry for y'all's loss. Christy and I are here today just answering questions, spiritual questions. So if you have any of those, please pop them in. The next one we're going to head into is, I feel stuck in my life. How can I get unstuck?
I say sometimes being stuck is the best place to be.
Yeah.
Because you get so sick of yourself that you finally take action and go do something. But being stuck could also be a waiting place where you're waiting for everything to align for you to move forward in an easy, comfortable way without having to force things. Yeah. It'll just happen. So being unstuck, you want to connect to your guides, absolutely, and ask, why am I stuck? What is the next thing that I can do to get unstuck? And talk to your guides. They will give you signs. They will give you indications of what you need to do next. And sometimes it's just rest. Just Absolutely. Be.
I was just talking to one of my mentor clients yesterday about this. And we were talking about sometimes we're in a holding pattern and we're meant to be in that holding pattern and it feels stuck. Mm-hmm. And like Christy said, when you develop that relationship with your guides and your team on the other side, is how you'll get to learn, am I in a holding pattern or is this something I need to move? Do I need to make a move or do I need to be in a holding pattern? And develop that relationship with your guides and your people on the other side so that you can feel the switches in energy and what you're supposed to be doing. Um, if you feel like that you are uncomfortably stuck and you want to, and you're not really sure, do something creative.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you feel like is creative. Some people like to cook, some people like to write, some people read, some people hike. Whatever works for you that feeds your soul, do that. And it will make you feel better. And if there's any stuck energy that needs to move forward, that will help unstick it.
I was with a friend on Monday morning, and I was talking about connecting to spirit guides. And she goes, "Well, I just don't think I can do that. I don't have the ability to do that." And I said, "Well, in 12 years of me guiding people to meet their spirit guides, I've had one person who couldn't connect, and it was because they just were so closed off."
Yeah.
And she's, "Well, you know, but I sit down," and she expects them to sit down like she and I were sitting next to each other having a conversation. I said, "No, that's not how it works. It is so much more subtle." I said, "It's almost like listening to a feather fall through air." And it's,
Yeah.
yeah, and you have to listen and trust the information you're getting. It's not your imagination. It's not wishful thinking. It's not, it's just so subtle most of the time. And if you're not paying attention, it might show up big on the side of a semi, in a billboard, other places. And again, I'm not making that up. No, that's how they communicate with you. But it is not like you and I right now having this conversation and loud and clear. We can see each other and hear each other. It's not like that.
I'd say it's not like having a conversation with 3D humans. They're not going to send you a memo, an email, or a sticky note. You have to learn their language. And it's what I teach in classes, the language of spirits, which is clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance. It's how you use your clairs, and it's very subtle. And it's just learning that language. And I'm with Christy. There's not been, the only people who can't connect are the ones who just don't want to.
Yeah.
Who are just so closed off they want to. Let's answer a couple. Let's see. We're curious if you do group readings. I'm not sure, Kara, which one you're talking to. So Christy and I were just talking. I'm not sure if you live in the Omaha area, but we were just talking about we're going to be doing a group reading here soon. We haven't nailed down a date. I do have a group reading that if you go to my website, Christy Godwin Psychic Medium, under the events that I'm going to be doing that's free coming up. I don't do those very often. You can imagine I don't do the free ones very often, but right now I do have one that's coming up the end of this month if you want to register for that. Yes, Omaha. Yeah, so Christy and I are going to be doing an in-person event. We were just talking about it. We know where it's going to be, but we went live before we nailed down a time frame. I'm not quite sure when we're going to be doing that. Do you have a month in mind, Christy?
I'm open. I mean, we can do it next month if it works out.
July, it would be August.
I can do August, September, October. I can't because I've got an event, another week.
August works for me. I was trying to think what I have going. I'm traveling like 1 week in August, our anniversary, our 40th wedding anniversary. So we're traveling that week. But other than that, I'm in town. So yeah, keep a lookout for Christy and I to have an advertisement coming through. And looks like we're going to do it in August sometime.
That was easy. Thanks, Karen.
Yeah. So what are you feeling? You feel I'm out of town like the third week in August. Are you feeling the week after? I'm feeling the week after, like the last week in August.
Last week in August is what I'm feeling. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the way psychic mediums make our business decisions. What did you hear, Christy? Yeah, she said, I'm feeling the last. Yep. That's clairsentience at work. If you listen to someone talk, you can usually figure out what Claire is coming through. And Christy said, I'm feeling, she didn't say I'm seeing, she said, I'm feeling the last week in August. That's her clairsentience. And Christy is very clairsentient. Yes.
We know
yeah. I don't know. I feel like all of your clairs are pretty much in line. Like they're all very strong. I don't know. Did you start off with your clairsentient being your strongest? Is that when you started out? Was that your strongest?
Clairvoyance is my strongest. And I think you just brought up a really good point, is that most people will have a dominant clair. And once you really work with that, then the others start to open up too. And you listen to the words you're saying. Like Christy mentioned, I said, I'm feeling the last week in August. Well, I just kind of sense this. Oh, okay, that's a different clair. Well, I see this in my future, clairvoyance. And Well, I heard this. That's clairaudience. And, pay attention to the words you're saying when messages come through, and it'll tell you what clair is being activated.
Absolutely. Hi. I want to thank everyone who is commenting. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Real quick. Now, we're not going to answer this question specifically because we're not here to do specific readings, but I think we can answer this as a whole, Christy. Donna just asked, can you tell if there's any happiness ahead for me? So I think that we can answer that as a whole instead of answering it specifically for Donna. So really thank you, Donna, for putting that in the comments. I think we're going to take that one. Do you want to start?
Yeah. There's always happiness ahead if you choose happiness.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, a lot of people are in victim mode, in sad mode, and they can't break out of it. And we just talked about being stuck or unstuck.
Yeah.
And what's the next thing I need to do to find happiness in my life? And then you claim it, because believe it or not, it's a choice that you make, whether to be happy or not. Nobody gets through life unscathed. Life beats the crap out of all of us. And I say the trick in all of this is resiliency. Do you think you deserve to be happy? Do you deserve joy in your life? You do. And if it's because of the loss of someone near and dear to you, what do they want for you? They want you to be happy too. They don't want you to be miserable. They don't want you to be stuck in grief.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to be happy. So you honor them by claiming happiness back in your life again. It's a choice.
And I know, Donna, it's hard for everyone watching. It is hard. I do something called soul plans. It's based on the vibration of your names. It tells you what your innate challenges are. And I always start those plans off because I start with a worldly challenge, and tell you, okay, this is a challenge that you will see happening in your life. And I say, no one gets a free ride. No one comes to planet, unfortunately, and gets a free ride. And, I have been battling some major health issues, and Christy has heard me and seen me crash out. But that's okay. It's okay to crash out. You need to process those feelings. So if you're feeling feelings of sadness or grief or hopelessness, feel those. Just don't pitch your tent in those emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You need to process them. You need to feel them. And then ask yourself how you can take any given situation to a higher octave.
Mm-hmm.
What choices can you make in this moment? And sometimes, Christy has witnessed me not having a good moment, and it's okay. I want to give everyone permission to crash out, to be sad, to grieve, to be angry. Just don't live in those emotions. Understand that that is just a part of where you are right now. Walk through them, because on the other side, if you make the choices to be happy, I think that, Donna, I saw some of your information. It sounds like you're heavy in grief. And I would like to say that one day you're going to wake up and your grief will go away. It doesn't happen. Grief doesn't go away. It changes us at a soul level, and we just have to take a different walk on this planet. And I want you to understand, for everyone dealing with grief, and grief can come from a lost job, a lost loved one, a lost pet, a loss of how you thought your life was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I dealt with grief with my illness because it changed my walk on this planet in a way I didn't want it to. So that was grief.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to grieve those things and understand that on the other side, if you continually making better choices, you will be happier. Do we still have days where we get up and we're just completely ticked off because it hasn't gone the way we wanted to? Absolutely. And on those days, you need to be ticked off. Maybe don't take it out on everyone around you, but certainly make sure you're feeling those feelings and then make a different choice. And you can journal, you can talk to a friend, you can do something like, I like to walk in the woods. That's my happy place. So find something where you can just grab a snippet of joy, if that's all you can do for today.
Well, in being human, we came here to experience all the emotions. And that's why life gets to all of us. We came here to experience those things. But exactly what Christy said is, how long do you want to live there? In
Right.
the darker, deeper grief emotions. And yes, you want to experience them. And you're right, Christy, that we're never going to get rid of grief, but that you have to learn how to integrate it and how to to be happy and how to continue to live a life of joy, knowing that you're carrying grief with you.
I took for my undergrad degree, I took a class called Death and Dying. I was in my 20s. What did I know, really? So it gave you these 5 steps, 5 stages of grief, which I do believe in those 5 stages. But the class was taught in a way that you go through these stages and then you're fine. You're back to normal. And so I think about that class frequently. It's like, what a load of BS. Yes, the stages were legitimate, but sometimes, you start at stage 1 and you get to there was like 5 stages, and you get to stage 4 and you're like, oh yes, I'm almost done. And the next morning you wake up and you're back to stage 1. And that is the way grief can happen sometimes.
What I'm reading now is that a death anniversary date comes up and the grief shows up in a different way.
Yeah.
That's true. And when I work with people that have gone through loss like that, I said, sometimes just pushing your cart through the grocery store and you see their favorite cereal and you will just completely lose it. And it's those triggers, those memories that do bring up grief, but you will find that they don't come as frequently and they don't come as hard punching as time goes on, if you're willing to really deal with it and sit with it. To me, grief is also a testament to how much you love that person. So you do want to go through that, but then learn how to sit with it, integrate it into your life, and choose to be happy.
I had the other day grabbed I have this drawer. I'm sure no one has this junk drawer where they throw like cosmetics. No one else has that, I'm sure. Everyone else's stuff is really organized. But so I grabbed this cream. It was a day cream out of this. And I was like, oh yeah, it has SPF. Let me grab it. And not really paying attention. And as I undid it, I had I was like, oh, this has been used. I don't remember using this before. I put it on and instantly I was like, oh, it smelled like my mother.
Oh.
It was her after she passed, I grabbed some of her old creams. You'll see my light just flicker. Mom saying hi. And it was my mom's Estee Lauder cream and it smells like her. So now every morning when I put it on, I was like, hi Mom, how are you doing? And that is another thing. You can, just like Christy was talking about developing a relationship with your guides, you can develop a relationship with your past loved ones. And just know that they will leave you signs. And if you are curious about what they are, it doesn't have to be an appointment with Christy and I. There are plenty of psychic mediums out there. Make an appointment with a psychic medium you trust, and they can tell you the signs that your loved ones are sending you and how to look for them and how to get in touch with them. And without making an appointment, I'll tell you right now, you can talk to your loved ones. They can hear you. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many times I'll be doing a reading and my client will say, well, tell them I love them. You don't need me to do that. They are around you. They can hear you. So just talk to them, strengthen that relationship. Mm-hmm. Let's see, you're doing great. Thank you, Donna. If you want a reading, you can go to ChristyPeterson.com or ChristyGodwinPsychicMedium.com. And can they schedule online with you, Christy? Or do they? Yeah. I thought you had an online booking system. I have an online booking system also. So you can go online and ChristyPeterson.com or ChristyGodwinPsychicMedium.com. And you just choose what you want to book and a calendar opens up to you and it's very intuitive. It will walk you through.
Yeah.
Even a happy occasion with a loved one missing. It does. Mm-hmm. Yes. It's not just those death dates or the days that something sad happened. It's sometimes grief hits you harder on the happy occasions, like the birthdays, the anniversaries, Christmas, like if there's an empty seat at Christmas time, it brings back that they're not there. Will you be going live on TikTok? I will probably be going live. I will put out a schedule, so be looking for that. I think tomorrow. No. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I think I'm going to go live Thursday. I'm not sure what time. I have to look at my calendar. But be looking for that. I am going to publish it. Lately, I've been going live and just all of a sudden it'll strike me. Oh, I'm going live and I'll go live on TikTok. But this week I am going to schedule it. I promise. All right. If y'all have any other questions, thank you, Donna. You really, and really put us off on a great start. Donna and DeLiz both did. We appreciate y'all's comments. Please keep them coming. Our next one that we're going to go through is, where are we? Okay.
Number
I have
two.
an empty feeling in my stomach. What is it and how can I get it to go away?
That empty feeling in your stomach can mean a lot of different things. Your stomach is actually your solar plexus, which is your sense of self. So usually you want to really tune into that. And is there something in your life that's just not going in the right way? Is there somebody that you're connected to that you've got maybe a strain in the relationship? Is there a change that you need to really incorporate in your life? Are you ready to make some big changes? That all will show up in your solar plexus, right in your stomach. And if you're not really living the life you came here to live, you're going to have that empty feeling. When you remember who you really are, that emptiness goes away. So how do you do that? It's getting rid of or recognizing programming and conditioning that we have all had our whole lives. And sometimes it's even out of love. And I said, the one that I like to use as an example is parents with their, let's say, their daughters. And they'll say, oh, I can't wait till you get married. I can't wait to be a grandma. That's all programming coming from love. What if this person doesn't want to be married? What if this person doesn't want
Right.
to have children? And they do it because they want to make mom and dad happy. And then they're miserable. That's that hole in that stomach, is doing things that really are not true to you. And you're doing it out of expectations, obligations, things like that, that we just don't recognize that we've got the power to shift that. And even if this conditioning is out of love, it's still conditioning, it is still programming. You need
Mm-hmm.
to recognize it, number one, and then really go deep inside yourself and say, is that really for me? Or is it something that I can let go of? And when you let go of all of these things, that hole in your stomach will fill with love and light and joy and all good things.
Absolutely. I will say that since I have started a spiritual journey and started doing what Christy said years and years ago, I don't have that hole in my stomach anymore. I'm not saying that all days are rainbows and butterflies, but that hole is gone. And I just wrote an entire book based on the concept that Christy was just talking about. It should be out and publishing either the end of this month or the beginning of this month. We're just putting the final touches on it. Yeah. So, um, whenever you are, the easiest way I can tell you to get rid of that hole in your stomach, and I say it's easy. The words I'm saying are simple words, but the concept implementation is not always easy. It's any given situation, take it to a higher octave. Don't sell yourself out. Let's just say that your family is expecting you to be at Christmas dinner, Easter dinner, take your pick. But you know that one sister or cousin, whoever is going to be there, and they're always antagonizing you. They're always mean, and they always bring something out in you that makes you feel less than. You may lose your temper, and you just leave that situation being disappointed in your behavior. It's okay to say no. That's taking the situation to a higher octave. If you can't go into that situation and hold your tongue and behave in a way that makes you proud, you don't have to go. It's the conditioning that Christy was talking about. We are conditioned to, oh, it's a family get together, I have to go. Or the FOMO, fear of missing out. Nope. There is no fear of missing out. Half the time I'm saying I don't want people to invite me places because I don't want to have to tell them no. Because I'm very happy being with myself. And whenever you're with yourself, there's such peace with that. Not that I don't have a beautiful group of friends that love and support me, but sometimes we need that time for ourselves. So take every situation to that higher octave, keep your boundaries in place, and that will start you on the track of listening to your soul.
Yes.
I was talking to someone the other day, and we had a discussion. It was a friend, so we were kind of bantering back and forth. And I said, in any given situation, there's one choice. She was like, that's not true. There's always multiple choices. You're right. There's always multiple choices that you could take, but there's one right choice. There's one choice that's going to bring a situation to a higher octave, and that's the choice you want to make. And it's not always easy. because sometimes we have to unwind that social conditioning. We have to reinforce our boundaries, which if anyone has gone down that path of implementing boundaries where you never have before, it's not easy.
No, it's not.
I want to thank everyone who is making comments. If y'all have any spiritual questions to ask, please do so. We're not doing personal readings today. If y'all would like a personal reading, please feel free to go to Christy's website, ChristyPeterson.com, or mine, Christy Godwin Second Medium, and make an appointment. We would love to meet with you one-on-one. In this live, we're not answering one-on-one questions. We're doing overall spiritual knowledge.
I want to add to the conditioning and programming that you receive. I have a twin sister, and we were born in the mid-50s, and we were expected to look alike, act alike, be alike. And
did you get dressed alike?
Yeah, we had to dress exactly the same until we were 12 years old. Yes, and even then, we had the same outfit, just in different colors. Oh, crazy.
You can tell how happy Christy is about that.
Yeah, not. And you could not find two more different people on the planet, but we were absolutely expected to be the same and have the same interests, the same toys, the same everything. And there's a picture that I love when we were probably 3 years old on the sidewalk in front of our house. And I'm in high heels, little toy high heels, walking around, and my sister's in a little toy tractor.
Does she still have that kind of tomboyish personality?
Yeah. I mean, you could, from the time we were that young, you could see the difference in us, but yet it was still expected to be the same.
I love that. One of the greatest compliments one of my kids ever gave me, because let me tell you, if you're a parent, how much do we screw up? And we even when we're trying to do right, right? We make mistakes. And so she said that I did a good job of allowing each one of my kids to be who they were. And I thought, you know what, if God sent this human to me with these personality traits, who am I to try to change them?
I say that's and I hate to use the word mistake, but I'll use it just for context. That one of the biggest mistake parents make is they think their kids are here for the same reason they are.
Yes.
And again, that comes with the programming, the expectations. And what they're really trying to do is live their own childhood over again. And it was good enough for me, it's good enough for my kid, or I'm never going to raise my kid the way I was raised. They're trying to relive their own childhood. And what you need to do is exactly what your daughter told you, is you look at that child and what do they need in this lifetime.
And don't think, everyone watching, don't think I got it right always. I made so many mistakes. So I always say my kids turned out good in spite of me, not because of me. Those poor kids. Okay, so how can I tell? This is the next question. How can I like this one? And Christy loves past lives, so she's going to love this one too. How can I tell if past lives are affecting this life?
100% they are affecting this life.
I read this question. I'm like, when are they not?
They just are. Most people will focus in on the negative. I had a bad past life because of this. I was tortured, I was killed, and all that. Well, we all have. But what a lot of people don't recognize is you had a past life as a musician, as an artist, as a healer, and you've brought those gifts into this lifetime, and people will dismiss it. Oh, just good at it. Oh, I don't know. That's just something I like to do. It's because you've had at least one, usually several past lives where you've really honed that skill and that gift. So it does come easy to you in this lifetime. The negative stuff, that's what people tend to focus on. But one of my favorite things is when someone comes for a session with me and they said, I know something is wrong with me and I've been to every doctor and nobody can say, they think it's in my head. And I said, well, you know what? Let's go into a past life and check it out. Boom, things show up every single time. And you do a release on that. And I can go off on a big tangent here on this, but I'll try to keep it brief. But when you can release the energy of past life negativity that's holding you back in this lifetime, it opens up a whole new world of freedom for you.
It does. I had been, we all think that we all wanted to be, a king or a princess or this, whoever, very Nefertiti, whoever, Isis, these great, everyone wants to be these great people in these past lives. So I tell a story because it's so fitting of, I had someone who knew me quite well ask me about why I won't own what a good medium I am. The farther I would go is I can pretty much hold my own with whoever. I know that I can do that. But they were giving specific instances of information that had come through. And she said, Christy, why don't you own that? And so we instantly, it's funny because she was another medium, we instantly looked like to the past life, like, wow, why is that? And in that soul plan charts that I do, it's funny how when you start bringing all this information, they just kind of overlap. One of my soul plan numbers also says I will struggle with power and control. Like that's one of my challenges that I come into planet with, is my struggle with how to maneuver power and control. So when we went to this past life, we saw that I had, everyone thinks they're going to be all great. Christy was not great in this past life, just so we're clear. This Christy, not Christy Peterson, this one.
You can include both of us.
I wasn't going to throw you under the bus. So I was a male in this past life with some power of being able to heal people, work, energy, those kinds of things. I left on a trip, and some people that were jealous came in and murdered my family while I was gone. So what does Christy in this past life, who was a male, do? Did I take the higher road? Absolutely not. Christy in the past life, who was a male, created a plague that killed tens of thousands of people because, Now, was that taking that situation to higher octave and misusing my power? It was not taking a situation to higher octave, and it was absolutely misusing my power. So in this life, I'm here to really understand, to be humble, basically. And so sometimes when we're here to overcome and relearn lessons that we didn't quite get right in a past life, that's a challenge that's going to reoccur throughout our lives. And so I say sometimes our challenges don't go away. We just learn to recognize them faster and react in a better, more love and light manner.
Yes.
Now, I am definitely not that kind of person. Like I came into this life with a lot more compassion, clearly, than I had in that life.
That's awesome. This is one of my favorite clients, and it's been a few years ago that I worked with her, and she had severe migraines and was on disability her whole life. And she'd never been able to hold a job because of the migraines. And she came to me for a session, and I tuned into a past life, and I said, someone hit you over the head with a boulder and killed you in that lifetime, and you brought that energy into this lifetime. So I did a release for her on that. And then I forgot, because I channel in sessions, as does Christy. And so I remember, just little tiny bits and pieces of it, but the majority I just don't retain. 2 years later, she sent an email to me wanting to book another session. I'm the lady with the migraines in this particular city. And I said, okay, how are the migraines? She goes, I haven't had one in 2 years.
Yeah.
It cleared that painful energy of that past life of being hit over the head by a boulder. So you can work with health issues, with emotional issues, with ethical issues. All of that comes from past life stuff.
Yes. And I see a lot of people, past life money issues coming from past lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see a lot of money issues, repeated relationship issues will come in. A lot of times people think that their relationship issues, they can trace it back. And this is something that I'm sure Christy does also. Like when you have zoned in on an issue, let's just say you have a repeated relationship issue and you think it has something to do with something that happened in your childhood. But sometimes that's not the original time.
Yeah.
The childhood is just reinforcing something that you actually brought in from a past life. So whenever you come for a reading, it's important for whoever you're with to go back to the original spot that developed. Because if you just go back to when you were a child and clear that trigger, will it be helpful? Of course, it's always helpful if you clear a trigger, but it's not going to fix it completely because you haven't gone back to where it originated, which was in the past life. You need to go back to where it originally started. Yes. So that you can break that connection to clear things up. I hope that makes sense.
Yes.
All right. Let's see what is next on our list. What is the difference between a past life and a parallel life? That's a good one.
I love this question because technically there's no such thing as a past life. There are only parallel lives because when, it's, a lot of people accept it now that on the other side there is no time. So how can there be past lives and future lives if there is no time? So the example I love to use, because you can't wrap your head around no time and parallel lives, is, okay, I love to use my hand for this. This is your soul right here, which is the essence of who you are. That entire soul can't come into a human body because the energy is so strong, the body couldn't handle that kind of energy. So we send off a little piece of our soul to live that life, and a little piece of our soul to live that life, another piece to live that life, etc., etc. So we've got all of these lives going on from this original soul. Well, let's say, look at here. Oh, look how close those two are. And that energy can absolutely affect that other life that's going on right at this time. And same thing. Oh, let's do this. Oh my goodness, look at how those two are connected now. So to me, that's a way I can wrap my head around no time and parallel lives. Is our soul is here and we're living all of these lives at the same time.
Absolutely. That was a perfect. I don't even know if I have anything to add to that because I say all the time that, Christy and I didn't really know each other really well before we started going live together and answering questions. And there has never been once that she's answered a question that wasn't my same belief system. And, it's one of those things that the way we met each other and the way it was just, you can tell spirit was at work. So also know that whenever you instantly meet someone and Christy and I have never explored it, but sitting here is like, we had to have spent a past life together for us to have been so connected and so in alignment in this life.
Yeah.
Gretchen put on here, I've noticed physical scars or birthmarks carried from past lives. So I wanted to address that. That is absolutely true. You see that all the time where you can trace birthmarks or, scars that I don't know why that's there, where people were stabbed or shot or something in a past life. Absolutely. I love those little snippets. It's just a little hint that spirit sends with us when we incarnate on the planet this time around of, hey, remember why you're here. Hey, you're here to clear this up. We are definitely all here to take our lives to that higher octave, to take those lessons that maybe we didn't quite get right in a past life and redo them here to take it to a higher octave. How do you know you're doing that? Whenever I'm mentoring someone, I talk to them about, they can come to me and say, this is going on and I'm thinking of doing this. Great. Why? I'm not questioning them or being mean. I want to know their motives because it's about your motives. Are your motives pure? Because there is a difference between justice and revenge. I'm all about justice. Court system, people have to pay for their negative actions here on planet. But revenge carries a completely different vibration behind it. There's a difference. I want you all to remember that between justice and revenge.
Good point. Yes. Hi, Gretchen. I want to share a story. This isn't exactly a birthmark, but it's something that happened to me. I was born with congenital knee issues. And I've had knee issues my entire life and had to have tendon transplants when I was an adult size, and I've had just knee issues. I walked into an antique store one time and I saw a kneeling bench and I went, well, no wonder I have bad knees. And I had this instant remembrance of a past life as a nun, and not a very good nun, evidently. And I was forced to kneel and penance all the time. And I remember distinctly planning the life that I have now. No one will ever make me kneel again. And
so you're Catholic?
I was not. I was raised Lutheran, but I was a Catholic nun for sure, and we had to kneel. Yeah.
I beg to differ because I'm getting that you were actually a very good nun. Because I'm hearing that you went against the grain of the church.
Yeah.
But so that I knew that's what you were talking about. So what I'm getting is that Christy went against the grain of the church to help people.
Yeah.
But
our didn't care for me.
Yes. Churches haven't always, and still aren't always. Some of them are great, but they don't always look out for it's more important for them to check the boxes than it is to help the people.
Yeah.
And I'm getting in that life, Christy was not really about checking boxes. She was about helping the people.
Kind of like this life. Kind of that
For today, Christy and I are not here answering specific questions. We're here answering general spiritual questions. If someone wants to connect with a loved one or would like psychic information about their life, please go to our websites, christypeterson.com, christygodwinpsychicmedium.com. Make an appointment. Either one of us can help you out. Make an appointment, and we'll be glad to help you. We did just discuss, we don't have it be on the lookout. We just, during this live, decided the next group event we're going to have is going to be the end of August. So be on the lookout for that. I do have a free event coming up via Zoom, and you can go to my website and check that out. It's the end of this month sometime. It's like, I make it, put it on my calendar, and then kind of, I guess the 31st, maybe. I don't even remember now. All right.
My shoulder has bothered me always. In a past life, my arm was chopped off. Long story. I get it, Christy. Yes. And you'll come back with, if it's not an actual birthmark, you will come back with pain in that particular area. And and I think it's really, it's another level of discovering who you are, is to go back and investigate past lives. And why does my shoulder hurt? Well, here's why. Then, okay, let's release that and let it go. You don't need to hang on to it anymore. That's awesome.
I don't love that you got your arm chopped off. I love that you were able to trace it back to when you had your arm chopped off. And, those are, you have to think about how many lives we lived. None of them were rainbows and butterflies, but some of them I'm sure are better than others. And, we couldn't all be kings and queens and good people in all of our past lives. So
how do you grow and change if you were this lovely angelic being? How do you have your soul evolve? We start out vibing pretty darn low, trying to figure it all out, and we just keep evolving and evolving into the beautiful souls that we are today.
And it's about making one right choice after the other. Transformation, getting to that higher level, changing your vibration does not happen overnight. It happens one choice at a time. Yes. And so I want everyone to know that, even if you had a great day, a bad day, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I behaved that. That's okay. There's tomorrow. There's an hour later. Like maybe at 11 o'clock this morning, you might have, done something you kind of regret. But you know what? There's 1 o'clock this afternoon. You can do something good. It's about evolving and evaluating our choices that we've made. And it's all about choice. We have the power of choice, which is a beautiful thing. I know that sometimes whenever, I will be counseling people and we will talk about, these are your choices. Well, I don't like any of those choices. Well, that may be true. Sometimes we're given choices that we don't really like any of them. Mm-hmm. But which one takes a situation to a higher octave? And that's the one you always want to choose. Because as the story I told earlier, I haven't done that in all my lifetimes.
I haven't always done it in this lifetime.
True story. And that is one thing you're always going to get from Christy and I, is there is no judgment. I mean, I've had some people sitting in front of me and they'll say, you're just going to be so shocked. And I'll be waiting for something and they'll tell me, and I'm still waiting. So that was supposed to shock me. You're going to have to try harder. If you want to shock me, you're going to have to try way harder than that. So that's one thing you'll always get from Christy and I, is you will get a safe place always.
Yes.
All right. We just did that one. What are the Akashic? Oh, I love this one. What are the Akashic records? Can anybody read them?
The Akashic records, the way I see them anyway, is a huge antique library.
That's the way it actually appears to me clairvoyantly.
Yeah, it does.
An antique library, yes.
Yeah, in dark wood and spiral staircases.
That's exactly how it is.
You can smell the ancient smell on these books and just feel the history of it. So the Akashic records, everyone has got their own book. And sometimes I guess people have seen them show up as holographic images. For me, it's a book. And you can open that book, and it's a history of every life you have ever had, every past life, every future life, everything that has ever been or ever will be. And that is for our planet. It's for each individual person. And anybody can read them. there are books out there that teach you how to do it, which are pretty fascinating. But to me, it starts out with what's your intent. And you can't just go in and read anybody's Akashic records. You can go in and read your own. The only way you can read somebody else's is with their permission.
Yes.
And you can't take your book with you. It's not like a library that you can check it out and bring it back. You have to read it when you're there. The first time, I thought was so fascinating, because Christy and I talk about this, we're always learning something new. And so I've never lost the wonder of what we do for a living, because it's just fascinating.
I love it.
So I went to the Akashic Records. I went to the front counter and asked for my book. And they came and brought this big, huge antique book to me. And I opened it up, and it was like a pop-up card. And it popped up in layers. And it was so fascinating, because I looked from the top down. It was this life, this life, this life, this life. And when this person down here made a decision, it affected the decision of every other life. And so then this one made a decision that affected the lives, because they're all going on at the same time. We just talked about that. But I thought, well, pop-up cards aren't a new invention. They go way, way, way back. And so basically it's just, they're books of everything that has ever been or ever will be. Everyone can read them. Preferably you need someone to guide you through it until you're comfortable with it.
Yeah. In the Christian world, we call it the Book of Life. And it's funny, I know that Christy and I were just talking, I was affirming how she sees the Akashic records is how I see them, but not just, if you see them differently, that's okay. I want to make sure everyone knows that just because Christy and I kind of see them similarly doesn't mean that everyone will see them that way. Everyone can access them. People think, half the time when you're coming to me for a psychic reading, I'm popping into the Akashic records. I might not tell you that. I'm going wherever I need to go to get the answer to your question. And if I need to go to the Akashic records, I'm doing that. And now, does it take practice? Yes, because whenever you ask me or Christy a question, we may pause for a couple of seconds and then we're into the answer. That is one thing I would say that Christy and I do well, that we have in common, is that we access the information very quickly. Sometimes you'll see people sitting there longer, and that's okay. People have to put their own personality and spin on reading. So whenever someone comes and asks either one of us a question, we go to the spirit world to get the answer. And if the spirits are directing us to the Akashic records, we're going to pop into the Akashic records. And by asking us the question and setting up the appointment, you're giving us permission to read through that information. Now, if you come to me and you want me to read through your ex's Akashic records, that's not going to happen. You can't. If they haven't given me permission, then it's unethical, and I won't do it. Can we answer basic questions? Basic questions in a psychic realm, yes, but not in-depth Akashic records type information. I do want everyone to know that, and I know Christy said it, I've said it, but I just want to reiterate that you can absolutely access your own records. Christy mentioned you want someone to guide you through it. Yes. The first few times, until you get comfortable with the information and what it feels like, how to access them, how to read the information, you do want someone helping you guide it. Or you're just going to be fumbling around and wasting a lot of time and learning by mistakes in the seat of your pants. So yes, find someone who can help you. And I love the vibration of the Akashic records. It's just a beautiful vibration.
Peaceful.
Yeah. Yes. And when Christy is like, the way she's doing it is the way I feel when I go in there. It's just, and once you understand how it feels, and this is the way spirits are also. Every spirit has their own energy. Every realm has its own energy. The Akashic records has its own energy. And it's like a fingerprint or a face. Once you learn the feeling of that vibration, then you can identify it very quickly. That's the reason Christy earlier on in this live was talking about developing a relationship with your guides. Yes, please do so, because once you learn their vibration and how they feel, you can access them instantly. You can hear them instantly. You can feel them instantly because you're used to them. Yes. Anything else you want to say about any of that before we go on to the next one? I think we have time for maybe one more question. Okay. One more, unless y'all have something y'all want in the to ask us in the comments, we are asking general, we're answering general spirit questions, not, or spiritual questions, not specific psychic or mediumship. If you want that, please go to our website to make an appointment. Why did I choose to be on this planet during these turbulent times? Well, that's a good question.
And that question came from me because I'm looking at my guides just like, oh Lord.
I'm having a stern talking to myself when I get on the other side.
Yeah, like, why did I do this? And yeah, I think we have talked about this before, that Chrissy and I, along with anybody who has an interest in metaphysics, so everybody that's listening today, we are way showers. And we are here for generations and people that follow us. We are here to say that there is a more peaceful, more spiritual, more enlightened way, an evolved way for this whole planet, our solar system, to be. And unfortunately, we volunteered to be the first wave. And that's usually the hardest one, but we're doing it to hopefully make it easier for generations that come after us. And then we'll see things start to speed up. And, you know, when the tipping point, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the author Malcolm Gladwell, but he's got a book called The Tipping Point. And it's like things slowly, and they get to that tipping point, and then pew, things take off. Well, we're the generation that is really working on bringing awareness to the things that are not of a higher vibration. Let's put it that way. So corruption is a better way to put it. We're the ones to show the planet this exists. And then it's the generations after, it's up to them then to find ways to clean up our environment, to stop corruption, to make the whole planet and every person on it evolve. So that's why we picked it. We picked a tough one, but we are all way showers. And that's our job, is to light the way for other people.
Absolutely.
And, yeah. And intent is everything. And if that's your intent, to be the best person that you can be, and put your shopping cart back with the others and not leave it in a parking lot, to pick up your own trash, to smile at another human being, you're doing it. You're doing the work. And it can
I was going to use some of those same examples. Everyone thinks that being a way shower or changing the vibration of the planet is this big, huge, I have to be on stage, I have to be doing this. No, you're kind to your children. Even being kind to your children, because when you're kind to your children, they will be kind to others. It reverberates. You know, the person that is having a bad day or is checking you out at the grocery store, be kind to them. You know, my daughter, who is now graduated college and well into her career, in high school, she worked at McDonald's, and she would come home with these horror stories about just people acting ridiculous, let's just say. And I thought, how sad that they are putting that kind of energy out. How, you know, they could have handled that situation differently to take it to a higher octave. So just know that everyone watching this, like Christy said, we are all light workers. We are all way showers. Just being kind to your family, being kind to yourself. I would like everyone to start by being kind to themselves.
Yes.
And you know, we frequently put ourselves on the back burner. I'm not talking about in a selfish kind of way, but in a way that you are honoring your soul's path on this planet. Please be kind to yourself.
You deserve to be here.
Yes.
So, yeah, be kind to yourself, because you're here. You chose to be here. You deserve to take up the space that you take up. You deserve to have your light shine. That's what people are hungry for.
Yes.
People that are confident in who they are and the beauty that's in their soul. Let it shine, because that's a way shower too. Look at, I can do it. You can do it too.
Absolutely right. Christy and I are here talking about the spiritual stuff, talking about psychic mediumship. Trust me, we were in the closet also at some point. We were in the psychic mediumship closet, and it's not easy to always come out. You know, my husband asked me a question, it was about a year ago, and it was just a question that stuck with me, because it wasn't about my answer. It was about how I make choices on this planet. And he looked at me. We were having a discussion about something. He said, Christy, if you could move anywhere, where would you move? And instantly he knew where my brain was going. He said, no, 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 no. I want you to think about only you. If you could move anywhere, where would it be? Because he knew that instantly I was thinking about all my kids. Where are they living? What are the kids going to do? What are they going to do? What about grandbabies? Da, 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 da. And when he asked me that question, my brain was about to explode trying to take all those things out of the equation. And I'm not saying that I need to make decisions by taking all those things out of the equation, but it was an awareness that I never make a decision solely based on what I want. I make decisions based on other people, my family, whatever it is. And so you just having that awareness. So I'm not saying that everyone needs to change the way they make decisions or change their path, but have an awareness of why you're doing what you're doing, because it may surprise you. You know, that in itself surprised me because I teach this stuff. And so here I was maneuvering in a way that may not always be as healthy for me as it should, because it was a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I had been taught when I was little.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just brought it on into adulthood. And here's the thing that sometimes shocks us, though I had worked on it a lot. And because I had worked on it and fixed a lot of it, I thought I had fixed it all.
There's always another layer.
There's always another layer, and know that. And it's okay. And sometimes that other layer isn't revealed to us until we're ready to face it, right?
Yes.
We can't always fix, a problem or a layer at one time, because our mind will absolutely explode. But
and people say, yeah, I want this awakening to happen. I'm like, no, you really don't. Because if it happens all at once, you're going to end up in an institution. You want it to happen layer by layer by layer and have it take a lifetime.
Transformation happens one choice at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank everyone for joining us. Again, if you want to make an appointment with either one of us, ChristyPeterson.com, ChristyGodwinPsychicMedium.com. We would love to meet with you, help you on your journey. We will be having an in-person event later in August. After we close this down, we'll probably decide on a day. And then go to our website, sign up for our newsletters or to receive things from us, because I always send out emails about this is what's going on. See me here.
And look for Christy's new book coming out soon.
Yes, when we do, we'll definitely be talking about it whenever. Maybe Christy and I could have a live where we both talk about our books or something.
Well, and that being said, before we close, my latest book, Messages from Ramadir, A Collective Hope for Humanity, Book 3, I'm doing another book signing at Unity Church on August 3rd. So in about 3 weeks at 7 o'clock, Unity Church in Omaha. So I'd love to have you see there. It's a free event. Come and read or look about the book, and then Ramadir will show up and maybe answer some questions for you.
If y'all have never seen Christy channel Ramadir, please come. It's just like any other being. It's nothing. I know a lot of people are like maybe a little bit put off or afraid. No, it's just like any other being. He's a very high vibrational being. He is a guide to our planet. And, I always think it's funny the way his information comes through. It comes through like many angelic beings or guides, very matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, in my guide, I have a guide. I call her affectionately the B word sometimes, because she is so matter of fact. I can be throwing a little fit over something, and she'll look at me and be like, "Are you done yet?" No, I'm not done. I'll let you know when I'm done for my little fit. I'm here on planet, and I deserve to have my fit.
That's right.
So that is August 3rd at Unity Church, 7 o'clock. Please see Christy. If you haven't read any of her books, you can go to Amazon and pick some up. But I'm sure she'll be having the third one at the signing where she will sign it for you. Or if you've already bought it, go to the signing and she will sign it for you there.
Absolutely.
Yay. Right. Thank you, everyone.
Second Tuesday in August, noon. We'll see you then.
All right. Y'all have a good day. Thank you.
Bye.